hope everybody, is gonna enjoy this interaction. But I'm gonna default to my brother, Mr. Sasson, to make this introduction. Go ahead and do that, brother. It's on you.
Well, it's my guy for years. He was supposed to come on with us this week, I believe the 6th, right? Wednesday.
Yes, sir.
So ask him to do me a favor, come on the show and do a little advance movement for us. Like I said, we're waiting on Zab. The show gotta go on, and we'll worry about Wednesday when Wednesday comes. But like I said, we got plenty of people in our corner helping us out, and this man's been on the #1 radio show in the morning in New York City. Ooh. And in English and in Spanish. So, there's so many accolades I could just talk about, but being a good friend is, what I would just lead with. So we'd like to welcome Noel Speedy Mercado to the set.
Where, papi?
Holy cow.
What's up, papi?
What's going on? Say what's up to everybody, Speedy.
What's going on, everybody? How you guys doing out there? Happy New Year. May this new year bring you lots of health, happiness, and all the success in the world you deserve. Thanks for having me on the set, guys.
Oh, we appreciate it, man.
Brother. Thanks for coming early. Pause.
Oh, man, anytime. I'll do anything for you guys, especially for you, Shelly.
Brother.
You're my bro.
Thank you.
This is amazing. Speedy. This is the first time you and I are actually meeting virtually.
Right.
Or in life at all.
But we have somebody in common.
Who's that?
Peter.
Petey's in the room. As a matter of fact, Peter Capillari.
In my studio.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, we were gonna go over there, but with the situation with Zap, the phone, and all this stuff, so we were just like, you know what? Let's not.
Yeah,
save that.
Yeah, but Petey already knows. We're gonna keep it tucked and pause, and we definitely gonna be hitting Petey up. We're probably gonna be doing a few shows with him.
He's amazing. He's a great dude.
Very
talented, very talented.
I know Petey since before he was taller than me. Now he's not taller. Shout out to my State Street brothers.
Yeah.
So Speedy.
Yes, sir.
Since this is the first time you and I are meeting, I'm gonna be a little nosy, and I want to ask you some personal shit.
Go ahead.
So where did you get your start in New York? And
we're gonna go to high school when I got my start. Actually, I got my start in Eastern District High School in Brooklyn.
Okay.
It was funny because I was, and I have no shame in the game to say I was being bullied in my freshman year in high school. I was being bullied.
Wow.
And one of the teachers, my English teacher, which also was the mass media teacher. For those of you who don't know, mass media is about communications and stuff like that. So he was building like a little radio station in a classroom. So basically, he told me come in during my lunch breaks, and he taught me a little bit of everything. I got so much into it that we developed a radio station where we went around like Eastern District, around that area. We got turntables for free that were broken. He fixed them. We did a bunch of things, and we started broadcasting into the lunchroom. Like everybody would bring their little cassettes in or whatever music they wanted to hear. And, I throw my voice over them or whatever.
Track.
And I did the morning announcements also. Like, please report to class 305. The lunch we'll be serving will be meatloaf today. And from there on, I started interviewing all the basketball players and stuff like that from the teams. And it just kept developing. Then I ended up playing baseball and basketball over there at Easton. So, it was something for me to better myself. And I think I appreciate that teacher so much. To this day, we're still the best of friends. Mr. Rothman, we're still the best of friends. We still talk. We still communicate all the time,
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, from there, I went out to Kingsborough Community College.
Oh, shout out to Kingsborough.
Yeah. 91.3 of the mob, this city. It's your boy, Dangerous Danny D, on the Saturday night. Yeah. I love that time. That was an amazing time in my life. I did some of the, for those of you who don't know the freestyle genre, I did some of their first interviews of some of the biggest artists in freestyle. I did their first interviews in college. Wow. When I was at my college radio station.
Wow.
There I go to the now old and defunct Radio Hit, WJIT. I became an intern there, and I became like an intern for K-Rock also, because they were owned by CBS at the same time. They were in the same building. So I would work for both of them. Sometimes for Howard Stern and sometimes for Radio Hit. Did a little bit of everything. Then
Speedy.
Yeah.
In over there, well, did you run into Howard Stern or Diane Imus or any of those people?
Yeah, I actually ran into Stern a couple of times, high and by,
And they was cool with it.
Very cool, very cool. You know what it is? It's guys.
I heard different stories about them.
No, to me it was really. You know what it is, man. People always confuse the persona they hear on the mic and the persona that you're outside of the mic, and a lot of people always get that confused. Because remember, people don't know how to differentiate a character. That's what you are. When you're talking on this mic, you're a character. You know what I mean? And people don't know the difference. When you're out in the street, you could be a totally different person than than the other. I'll give you the best example of it. Funkmaster Flex. Sully, you hear all this boom, bang, bang, boom, bang, bang. And the guy I know, Aston Taylor, was the sweetest, the quietest guy you could ever imagine. Off all this,
right?
He was the coolest guy, quietest guy you could imagine. So it's what people, And then everybody, the thing is too, so everybody sees you different. They hear you on the mic. To somebody, you could be 6'3", 300 pounds.
Right.
To another person, you could sound like you're 5'2". And
right.
Everybody has a different persona in their mind because remember, it's a mind game. They have a different persona of you in their mind.
Well, you get that a lot with this, sometimes the Spanish stations, you hear the women talking, you're like, man, she sounds hot. Okay. And then you see their pictures and stuff, and you're like, oh,
Ellie does not get into that. Does not get into that.
Speedy. Ooh. So being that you got involved in radio in high school because you were being bullied, right?
Yeah.
I guess you found your solace in who you are yourself internally, like your person in radio. And that's sort of like you built your own world, being this person on the radio. As you said, there's a different perception. People, you can be on the radio, you can be 6 feet tall or 5'2".
Yeah.
Right? And Sally, did I miss that? Did he just shout out Funk Flex's full government?
Yes, he did.
What is Funk Flex's name?
Got it already, though.
Aston Taylor?
You got it.
Aston?
Mm-hmm.
Jesus Christ. Okay, enough of that. So, Speedy, when do you have sort of your big break, your big moment where you get pushed into a spot where people start to recognize your name and your name starts buzzing? It's
funny because it started with Angie. Because I was Angie's producer. I was Angie Martinez's first producer ever on Hot 97.
Wow.
So the funny part was that, she kind of got on me, and Flex got on me all the time because I used to work with Flex also. So they started like exactly the same thing that happened in high school was happening basically on the radio. But at this time, I was just like, oh, this is my way in. Uh-huh. This is going to be my way in. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to play along with it. I don't care, what people say. As long as I get a laugh out of them or whatever, it was all good. Wow. And I started getting a reaction. Then you had guys like Biggie come in and be like, yo, leave my little man Speedy alone. He from Brooklyn. He represents Brooklyn. Leave him alone. That's my dude. Then you had guys like Fat Joe who took me under their wing. And maybe I'm even part of the Terror Squad also. So those guys like that kind of like felt sorry for me, but at the same time they didn't realize how many doors they were opening for me.
You're the one guy nobody's scared of in the Terror Squad, Speedy. I just want to know.
Yo, but it's amazing. See, the way you put that, Speedy, a cosign, right, could put a stamp on you.
Oh, definitely.
Right. When people recognize the true person, their character, and what they're really made of, they'll co-sign you, and that, as you said, could open up a lot of doors for you.
Yeah,
right? Anybody seeing you with Fat Joe knows that you're not holding the gun. You're just not. You're holding the records, right?
Now, you want to hear something funny? It's funny you say that because in high school, once I got over the bullying and all that, all the guys kind of took me as the mascot and carried me on their shoulders and all that. So when they did illegal things, they would always I end up either my locker or somebody else because the exact same thing you said. Nobody would ever think that, this person is carrying this or that or whatever. So the extra lunch tickets and all that type of stuff and all that, I was the one carrying that.
You were a hardened criminal, Speedy. Wow. Yeah. Lunch tickets. You dangerous.
No, but you know what I mean. It's
I
funny.
know. I'm joking.
Yeah,
it was putting in work.
It comes around. It always comes around in a circle.
Wow, that's amazing. So now you're getting these cosigns. You're working with all these people, right?
Mm-hmm.
When does your moment come? Like, when does it become evident to you that something has changed in your career path and that you're starting to get buzzing?
Yeah, because when you got artists like Jay-Z giving you gold plaques and stuff like that, you're like, wait a minute, I'm doing something right here. And guys like Jay-Z recognizing you and recognizing your work, and guys like Red Alert, and then I get the phone call from KTU. When KTU signs on, I think I was 6 months. There was 6 months into it when I get the call.
Mm-hmm.
They wanted me to be the morning guy, like the morning guy on the street,
right?
Like what Red T does.
Yeah, that's a big slot. The morning slot in New York City is huge.
Yeah, I've been blessed. I've done it in 2 different. I think I'm the only one that's done it in 2 different markets.
Mm.
Who was on that show, on the morning show there, Speedy?
Oh wow, we had Fast Freddie Cologne. We had Goomba Johnny. I worked with Hollywood Hamilton. I worked with Baltazar. I worked with RuPaul.
Wait, time out. You work with RuPaul?
Yeah.
What was that like?
Amazing. I tell you what, amazing. And it was a learning experience because he just didn't care. So he walked in there. Listen, he walked in there in his pajamas and Crocs. He come out of the limo with his pajamas and Crocs on and just put on the headphones and be like, honey, let's work.
Wow.
And he always told me, Speedy, you got to love yourself first before you're able to love somebody else. Love yourself for the person you are. You're an amazing person. Don't ever change for nobody. You know what I mean? If they can't love you for who you are, then, they're not worth and that always stuck with me.
Yeah. That's good info.
Yo, Speedy.
Yeah.
Was his, and I'm sorry, I want to ask one more question about RuPaul. What was his knowledge of music like? Did he have a knowledge of music?
Actually, he did. He really did. He knew his music. He loved his oldies and the R&B stuff and all that. He did have, he does have a knowledge of music. I give him that.
Man, it's funny because there's a lot of DJs out there nowadays that are sort of, I want to say, stuck in certain eras, right? But there are quite a few of DJs that play on the radio that have a vast knowledge of music. And I don't just mean, title and artists. I mean the people who were in the engineering booth putting it together and who played certain instruments and who mixed. And
I'll tell you what, one of the most amazing experiences that I had was working with Red Alert. That was I learned so much, from him. And then I also worked in Los Angeles. I did mornings in Los Angeles also. I did it with the first Latinos that were really big superstars. They were called the Baker Boys in LA.
Wow.
I worked with them. And I also work with I don't know if he's been on TV and all this Big Boy.
Yeah, Big Boy in the morning.
I actually was a roommate with him.
Where did you sleep? In his Timberland box?
He was the nicest guy in the world, man.
But you were doing production for them?
No, I was doing morning
hosting
with them. I was the morning show producer. Because what happens is they come to New York and they saw the chemistry that I had with Angie Martinez, and they were like, "Oh wow, can you bring that magic
over here
to over there?" And we tried it, and one of the biggest interviews I ever did over there in LA, I'll never forget it, was Barry White.
Wow.
Yeah, Barry White.
Wait, I got
That's a different vibe though. That West Coast to East Coast.
Yeah,
vibe.
West Coast.
Yeah, it is because my you guys might know my manager Vito Bruno.
I do.
Vito was he was just running for state senate, and all that.
That guy was your manager?
Yes, sir. Still is.
Yo, Sally, we're in the wrong business, bro.
Still is my manager. To this day, still is my manager. Been my manager over 25.
Wow.
You know, and I tell you, Sally, it was such a different vibe because I would call the fellas from New York, Chino and Joey, and all these guys, yo, what are we doing tonight? And they're like, and I actually didn't realize that I was in LA. And they were like, yo, my man, what are you talking about? You're in LA. What's the matter? I never got used to it. I never got used to it. You know, that, you know, every time somebody, like when Buster used to come in, we used to go eat Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles and all that. And they would start talking, reminiscing about Brooklyn. I'm like, yo, man, I can't. And Sally knows I'm a big family guy. I've been, and I think I'm the biggest number one mama's boy you'll ever imagine.
You're supposed to go on that show. There's a show now.
Oh yeah.
Got to get on that show, Speedy.
No, Sally, I told you we shot a reel and we shot a show for it. It's called Mama's Boy.
Okay.
Wow.
I forgot about that. We'll talk about that also. We have that shopping as it is right now. We've been shopping it and stuff like that. But every time I would call New York, my dad would start crying. And I'm gonna tell you what, guys. All the money in the world, it's not worth it. You seeing a parent of yours suffer or cry because, you know, you're not there or whatever. So I was just like, listen, guys, I appreciate the opportunity. Thank you for this. And I called Angie back and she said, can I come? She said, not a problem. I came back to New York. That lasted about a year in LA.
Let me ask you something about, because Sully made a good point about the vibe being different in LA musically, because out west, it was about funk, right? Soul and all that. Did you also, like with the people that you worked with, like Big Boy and so on, did you also come to understand that their knowledge of music was definitely on point? And if so, what were their tastes like in music? Because again, out west is a total, like they grew up on something totally different than we did on the east.
Oh yeah, you know, over there you had Cypress Hills was big, Domino was big, Domino guys like Domino were big.
I used to go when I was in New Mexico. They had the Parliament, and
Funkadelic.
Funkadelic Parliament.
Yeah,
and then you have the Master P's were getting there at that time. You had
we're making him think right now. He's like,
yeah, no, you know, it was wow, but it was a totally different vibe. Like one time, I didn't know what the hell was going on. So the Baker Boys invited me to Cypress Hills. They had a tattoo shop in up there in Compton, or I think it was Compton, some place like that. And I'm walking around like whatever, like New York. I got a blue shirt on or whatever, and my sneakers and whatever.
No.
So they play a prank on me, and they're like, yo, mess with that kid over there. So as I'm walking up to the spot, some dude, yo, orale, what are you doing? I'm like, what do you mean? What am I doing? This is red. And I'm like, yeah, I'm wearing blue. What's the problem? So the guy thought I was trying to be funny, and the guy played it off well, man. You know, and these guys are hysterical laughing, and I'm like sweating. I'm like, yo, I think I'm gonna have to throw hands here, or something's gonna go down. But either I throw hands, either I run, or I'm gonna kill one of three. It's gonna happen here. And they started laughing hysterically, and they were like, no, he's with us. He's good with us. But you know, I'm gonna tell you what, the West Coast style of dressing over there in those days,
way different.
Oh my God! They half of them have those
Chuck Taylors.
No, the Nike Cortez. Remember the Nike Cortez?
Oh yeah.
With the long white socks on and some shorts, and I was just like, oh okay.
Yeah. It's definitely very cholo, right?
Yeah, definitely. We're not in Kansas anymore. We're definitely not in Kansas anymore.
Speedy, when you said you interviewed Barry White, it was you and him one-on-one? It was the group of the show?
It was the group of the show, but he kind of like grabbed onto me. For some reason, another artist always grabbed onto me for some reason. They thought I was funny. They thought I was, you know, whatever. So there was always the time they would like grab on him, and you know. So he goes to me, Speedy, because my turn to ask him a question. I'm like,
You were starstruck?
What? You know what's having Barry White in front of you? Remember this, Sally? I grew up with my older brother listening to him cry every Saturday night with a Barry White record in the house. You know what I mean?
Blowing them up.
Yeah.
You know, llorando como un pendejo, like, you know.
What a short that this guy is.
And here comes Barry. So here comes Barry White, you know, all decked out and all this. And I'm like, oh, my God, that's really Barry White. That's really Barry White. And then he started, what's up, baby? And I was like, oh, boy.
Speedy, you sound taller on the radio.
So he goes to me, let me ask you, Speedy, what do you remember about my music? And the first thing that came out was out of my mouth. I said, puberty. He starts laughing hysterically. And from then on, we had the best interview ever. That he actually, me and the Baker Boys presented one of his outfits at the Hard Rock in Los Angeles. You know how they present the outfits?
Yeah.
The master ceremony that they presenting his outfit in the Hard Rock Hotel restaurant at the time.
Wow.
Nice.
Damn. Barry White's. Rest in peace, Barry White, man. That man.
Oh you know what? I've been blessed to interview some of the biggest celebrities and even sports. Remember, I ended up doing ESPN Deportes for a year.
Wow. What was that? You know, making that transition and talking about sports. Were you just reading off a script, or were you like, are you a sports head like Sally is? That you know, like, you know.
No, Sally knows I'm a big sports head. Okay. It's funny, guys, because Sally could tell you a story. That's what I originally wanted to do. I wanted to be a sportscaster in the worst way. You know, my idol was Howard Cosell. Okay. Man, I would sit and watch him and Don Meredith and all that do Monday Night Football, and my pop would throw me with a shoe because I would grab, you know, guys, you know what a pilon is? To match my phone going on. I would grab my microphone and start narrating the game, and Pop would come a little, you know, on the tipsy side and grab the shoe and pop it over my head because, you know, he wanted to sleep. And here I am acting the fool in front of the TV, you know. You know.
Oye, pendejo, que te calles ya.
Hey!
What's crazy is, I wonder if everybody, I'm assuming everybody in the room remembers Howard Cosell, because Speedy's definitely showing his age right now with these names. But yeah, man, Howard Cosell, another one, legend. You know?
And wasn't even supposed to be a sportscaster. He was actually a lawyer.
That's right.
He was a lawyer, and you know, and became Muhammad Ali's best friend. People don't realize he became Muhammad Ali's best friend.
He was the one. He basically made his niche, if you would, by building that relationship, and Ali always poking fun at him. So to see them on the screen, it became almost like a thing, like a draw. If Howard Cosell was on, most of the time you would be like, "Oh, where's Muhammad Ali?" Because they interacted so well.
Muhammad.
Yeah, and they had such a genuine relationship that it was incredible to watch. You know,
you didn't know if they were really mad at each other or if it was scripted.
Yeah, definitely. So Speedy, you know, you're in this in this space right now, and all these things are happening to you, right? So you leave LA, you come back to New York, correct?
Yep.
Okay, you go back to Angie?
Yes, sir.
So now you and Angie are back together. That year goes by. What happens next for you?
I get the phone call. I get a phone call from my manager that Frankie Blue, which was one of the biggest programmers at the time at KTU, wanted to meet me. And I was like, Frankie Blue? I was like, what? He said, you for real? I was like, yeah. I was like, let's go. So we go to Jersey because the original KTU studios were right out of the Holland Tunnel.
Oh my God. We used to go there, Sal.
Foxes.
Salute.
Right out of the Holland Tunnel, Marin Boulevard. And we went, and they offered me the opportunity, and I went to Angie. Actually, I went to Angie and Flex, both. And I said, listen, I trust you guys with my life and all that. And they're like, I said, I got offered this opportunity. And they were the first ones to say, go for it. Go for it. Go for it. They know there's not going to be no animosity here. There's not going to be none of that. You know?
You sound like you built solid relationships, and they respected your work and your work ethic enough
And then you had guys like Broadway Bill Lee and Freddie Colon going up to Frankie Blue and telling him, listen, that's the guy we need. That's the man we need right there. And when you got legends like that, confirming you, you're like, excuse me, talking about me? Really?
It's like,
and how would Speedy, how would they have interacted with you? Like, how would they know that you were the guy? Like, just from hearing you, or like
from hearing me? Because remember, so the thing with me was I built a relationship with most of these guys. A lot of the kids that work with me didn't build relationships with them. I built relationship with them. I helped them move. I drove them to some of the events when their car would break down. They call me, "Yo, Speedy, can you drive me?" And I was like, "Sure, no problem." Same thing with Glenn Fisher. I don't know if you guys know who Glenn Fisher is.
Yeah, of course.
The DJ.
Yeah.
House music, right?
Yeah.
Glenn was I think he still has the record for the highest ratings of any mix show ever in New York City on a Saturday night. He had like a 40 share, which is ridiculous. Like a 40.
That was 98.7, wasn't it back then?
No.
It was
Hot
107.
103. Hot 97, Hot 103.
Okay.
Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're just joining the show, I'm your host, Mr. A, with my partner,
Telly Sasson.
And this is the set. And tonight, shit happens.
We had a pinch hitter.
we had a guy on deck, evidently, came through in the clutch to show us some love and speak some legendary history when it comes to especially New York radio, Mr. Speedy. And I salute him and commend him for making an earlier appearance.
Oh, anytime, guys. Anytime you guys need me, just pick up the phone and I'll be there for you guys.
Look at this guy. You gotta love that, man.
Anytime, any hour. Don't worry about it.
Speedy. So what becomes your niche, so to speak? Like what's your thing with these people? I know you got a good work ethic and you've been around. Wow.
That became the
your calling card.
Tagged me for.
Yeah.
Because they said, let me clear something real quick. There was a guy, rest in peace, Danny Vargas, who did the records with the Wepa records and all that and stuff like that. And we were the best of friends and all that. But he did it in records and I did it in radio. You know what I mean? And it came up to me because for being unprepared. It's a funny story, being unprepared. Because it's one of my first times on the air on KTU, and I froze and I didn't know what the hell to say. So the first thing that came into my head was "Wepa, good morning," and it
stuck.
It stuck. From being unprepared to it just
a calling card.
Yeah,
that's amazing. So one of the most organic moments that you had on the radio, basically, that made you recognizable to the city.
Yeah.
Right?
And then I started having, I would just have fun with it. They asked me to do stunts and stuff like that. I didn't care. Let's go. As long as you know what I think, a smile brings health to everybody.
Right.
I think it's the biggest medicine you can have is making somebody smile and make and it just came natural for some reason or another. Stupidity came natural in me for some reason. we were blended together for some reason.
You said it, not me.
He came natural. People, you gotta love this guy.
It really just came naturally. You know what I mean? Some of the stuff, like stuff that was supposed to happened backwards for some reason.
Uh-huh.
And it worked.
Wow.
And it worked. Like one time I'm interviewing the mayor. Which one was it? And I'm live with RuPaul. And I lose the script. Literally, as I'm saying the question, the wind blew the paper away.
Oh, my God.
And I turn around and I go, oops, Ru, I just lost the questions. She starts laughing hysterically. And everybody just thought it was the funniest thing, but it was a natural thing. You know what I mean? The paper actually blew away.
Wow, man. So this is a career stretching, what, 20, 30 years now?
It'll be 32. Going on 32.
You don't feel any semblance. Yeah, you don't feel any semblance of like of retiring, or you're gonna
the day they close that coffin is the day I retire.
Wow.
It's just you know what, man? It's just
passion.
It's rewarding. It's just, I've made so many friends over it. The best thing about it, you know what, I could care less about the money. I could care less about all that. Is the relationships you build, the friendships you build, the good times you've had. I've traveled the world for free, God, I've been to London, Germany, Amsterdam, Ireland, France, the entire Caribbean, Venezuela. God, I've traveled so much, and it's because of the radio station. They would always send me to do all the remotes from out there and stuff like that.
So, Speedy, let me ask you a question. Now that you said that you've traveled the world, and we touched on this last night with our brother from Brooklyn, Mr. Rob Phelps. Are you a family man? Are you married? Or do you have a significant other?
I can't even catch a cold, my brother.
Oh, all right.
I'm one of those. I can't even catch a cold.
I was just gonna ask, man, traveling the world, what were the women like?
Gorgeous. Well.
Did they tell you had a face for radio, or
like the Caribbean is, they're the most beautiful women in the Caribbean. When you go when I went to like London and all those spots out there, man. No disrespect against anybody out there if they're listening. No disrespect, but I prefer the Latinas.
Las mujeres de la Caribe están
por la maceta.
That's what's up, man.
So the KTU is number one in the mornings for a while, right? You guys were number one in the morning in New York.
We got up to number 3, to be honest with you, Sally.
Okay.
We got up to number 3 because you had at that point you had the Elvis Durans. Because the kids listen to Elvis Duran and all that. And then you had the competition because KTU was at that point was right in the middle of both. You played oldies and you played new stuff. So you got an audience. You had to divide the audience with the other radio stations, because you had Z100 with all the kids. And then the thing is too, Sally, in radio, they set you up to play certain type of music because as a company, if this radio station is winning already, Z100 is winning, I can't beat it,
right?
Because that's going to hurt business.
Okay.
So they set you, they put you, in a certain spot where you're going to play certain records and certain things, so you don't cross over to their material.
So it's kind of monopolized.
Kind of, yeah, because at that point, that's when they owned. People that own KTU own Power 105, KTU, Light FM. Am I missing? Oh yeah, and 104, Q104.
104.
Yeah.
It's funny. I listen to like that Light FM channel now, I think, because they play all of our music. They're playing the Shannons and the stuff we listened to growing up, and I'm like, man, we the old guys in the room now.
Yeah, you know what? But I think, Sully, you make yourself feel old. I think you're old as you make yourself as old as you. Long as you keep young, long as you feel young, you keep young, and keep I'm not here. I'm a saint saying that I eat properly and all that, but I do my walks and stuff like that. I try to maintain myself. I feel good for 52.
The music genres, I just really can't listen to the music.
Join the club. I thought I was the only one. Honestly, I thought I was the only one, and
you're definitely not.
I have this argument with one of our boys. So you know what I'm going to say? Blazer 1.
Okay.
Oh, shout out to Blazer.
Blazer.
That's my hooker.
Blazer, wait. One.
Yeah.
I did it 6 times or whatever it is.
You call him Abuelo one now.
That's one of my dearest friends. One of the most, to me, and I've always told him, to me, he's one of the most underrated DJs in New York City. He really, when he sounds amazing. He really does, And he's such a good guy. But listen, man, there ain't gonna be another Big Daddy Kane. There ain't gonna be another Biggie. There ain't gonna be another KRS-One. There's not gonna be another Fat Joe. I don't consider. People could say whatever you want about it, and I don't consider the music now hip hop. I'm sorry, it's not.
It's interesting.
Because I want to see the old stuff we used to see, like going to the club and you saw Supernatural getting down with a KRS-One one-on-one on a battle.
Yeah,
battling one another, Supernatural and KRS-One, or even Busta Rhymes and leaders of the new school and all that type of stuff. You know what I mean?
It's funny that you say that, Speedy, because I've been having this discussion with quite a few people in our age bracket. Salute Mr. Rossi. They like this mindset that we're old and that the music that's out now, we just, we're old. It's not of our time. It's a generational thing. It's an era thing. But I always argue that it's none of the two. The point is that we grew up on foundational music, right? We grew up in the birth of hip hop, its growth, its teen years, through the golden era and so on. And what we understand to be hip hop or an MC, now what we see is sort of like a hybrid. It's sort of like, instead of a man and woman who don't know each other getting married and having the children, it's like two cousins got married and had a baby, and the baby came out retardado.
Yep.
Right?
Basically, you did it right on the dot.
Yeah. And what this music has gotten away from is lyricism, right?
Lyricism, I think, being local. I think the music, like a Brooklyn cat will talk about Brooklyn and stuff like that, and had something to say. It wasn't all, she had the fat ass, or she has this, or she has that, or blah blah blah. Like, I'm sorry, this reggaeton and this to me reggaeton. What's the another part of it they call
trap music,
trap and all that,
drill music.
Whoever enjoys it, so be it. You enjoy it, whatever. But to me, I don't find that. Choose the expression about you, dame el culo and all this shit. That's not music. I'm sorry, man. I'm so sorry. It's
Speedy,
not.
Speaking of that, like you end up going from K2 to the Latin, to the Latin genre of the radio stations, right?
Yeah.
So I had this discussion the other day, I think on Facebook about it. Like, I felt like salsa's a dying breed. I feel like a lot of cats, it's over. Like, Gran Combo, Victor, like those old school salsa, rest in peace, Tito Rojas. There's not no next one of them either.
Because and it's the same thing with every time with hip hop and with freestyle and all that. There's not a station that's giving new artists a break to break a new salsa record, to break maybe in their ears, maybe there's not any good salsa. But that's the problem. When you don't have a major radio station backing you, you know what I'm saying, Sully?
Right. Yeah.
Playing your music, there's a problem. There's a problem. Like, I don't care. Like, everybody talks about, I get 1 million views. I get this. I get that. Baloney. If your mom and your dad or me and you can't hear it on the radio, we don't know about it.
See, that's the thing. I would argue a point against that.
Shoot.
Being that there have been artists that have come to the forefront of the mainstream by way of independent means. Now, I'm not going to say that they're all likable or we all, their music is appreciated, but there have been some very talented artists that have come forward independently and made the machine come to them for a deal and not the other way around.
Let me give you the perfect example. Fat Joe. Fat Joe was underground. Fat Joe was underground before anybody picked him up and gave him the deal. But what I'm saying is, at a certain point, radio played you. That's my point. At a certain point, radio played you.
Right.
I remember playing. Listen, when I was in Angie, we had the Battle of the Beats. We brought the Battle of the Beats to the forefront, and we broke. Excuse me. Broke Biggie Smalls records. We played records like that would have never gotten a shot, like Smooth the Hustler from Brooklyn. Broken Language, records like that, were being played. We were breaking all those records. That's how we played. I remember when we played Flojo, which is his first single ever. We played that, on the Battle of the Beats.
What also?
A lot of records that were broken. See, my point is, there's nothing anywhere in radio or anywhere that's breaking new records. Like Hot 103 and Hot 97 are hot or not.
Right.
At one point, that you like this record? Tell me, but there's not another outlet, an outlet like that to promote new artists.
There's also, remember, there's no more record pools. I'm sure you probably kind of remember record pools. You go into the city.
Eddie Rivera's record pool, Al Pizarro's record pool. You had in Jersey. You had Bill Ricketts record pool. You know, and that was, and it's a great point you bring, because every Monday Eddie Rivera used to have all the freestyle artists and everything debut their record in front of a bunch of DJs that that listen to the record.
Shelly, I don't know if you've ever been to a record pool.
No, I heard of them before. I heard it.
But I went to a record pool. A friend of mine from the neighborhood who was a DJ who was in one was in the record pool. He took me with him, and that night they broke this girl's record, Little Susie. She performed it. That "Take Me in Your Arms" bullshit. Yeah. I never liked that music, so don't I'm biased. But anyway, that was my first experience, and I heard a lot of music that night that came out prior to its release. So I think that's all about technology. Like
Speedy, Frank Coco asked. I was going to ask that question also. There's a word for it, I forgot what it's called, but it's illegally payola. Is that something that
DJ's names? Well, one of the most famous ones.
Of course, we know.
Frankie Crocker. What?
Frankie Crocker?
Yeah, Frankie Crocker was went to jail for
payola
like that.
He did. He went to jail for that.
Yep.
Wow. Now, for none, I love Frankie Crocker though. That's my guy. I used to listening to Frankie Crocker.
Well, there was a few guys.
We don't need to name names. We know they out there.
Speedy's pushing everybody out the window.
No, but it's common. That's common.
Common knowledge.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's public knowledge.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you're just joining the show, I'm your host, Mr. A, with my partner,
Sally Sasson.
And this is the set 6145, and we're joined tonight by who is standing in the batter's box, Mr. Speedy. And Speedy has a long history and a lengthy resume in the music business or in the radio business. I'm sorry.
Like
same thing.
Like another thing, there are no clubs to break records anymore. You don't have the Palladiums. You don't have the 1018s. You don't have the Maurice in Queens. You don't have the Pallets in Queens. You don't have the Long Island clubs, the Chicago's in Lodi, Fox's in Jersey City. Those clubs that, everybody will bring the records to the DJ and say, yo, man, let me see how my record does on the dance floor or whatever.
And people ain't dancing or anything like that anyway. You go to a club and it's, you're standing around. Who got the most likes and, who's dressed the best or whatever. So,
Listen, man, I'm sorry. And I love all you ballers out there. Yo, all power to you. Love all you guys. But I ain't paying no $400 for no bottle when I could buy it in the liquor store for $12, $13. You bugging. I'll fill my Diet Coke. Sorry.
Excuse me. But you were speaking about the whole radio station not getting behind records and breaking records. And I think that I think a lot of it also has to do with technology, one, and two, the record business took such a hit due to the digital world that they had to sort of regain control, right? And in that, they have also dictated the direction of the genre. So right now,
I don't think the label dictated it so much as the radio stations actually, and the programmers who have changed. Everybody has the problem is everybody has a different ear. You know what I mean? Everybody has a different ear. Sally might like something I don't like, and same thing with a programmer. He might like he might like a record on the album, and you don't want to release that record, but they force you to release it because that's the one he's gonna play.
The station forces you?
What? Basically, yeah. Because if that's the cut they're gonna play, then you got to switch around everything and turn around and be like, okay, we got to push this record now.
So basically, you're telling me the program director is the one that's telling you your playlist, right?
That's his job, basically.
Right, no. I'm just I want to come. We're not all in the radio business. I want to help everybody along here to understand how things work.
That's basically his job.
Right.
Pick the songs, pick the DJs, pick everything that goes on a radio station.
And his directives come from where?
Say it again.
Where does his directives come from?
Well, his directives come from like the vice president of the vice presidents and all that type of stuff.
So yeah, see,
you got a program director, then you got a regional program director.
Right.
Like if the company owns 4 or 5 different radio stations, okay, you got your 5 PDs, but you got the one dude that's
doing
really
it all.
all.
Yeah. So at the top of the umbrella is that cat, and telling all the program directors from all the satellite stations, yo, this is the direction we're going in.
Right. Listen, I don't like this dude. Changes hours, or move that one to this slot and move that one to that slot.
So a guy like I know this guy's always in beef with artists in New York. Ebro in the morning. He's a program director.
He
Was.
Yeah, he
Was.
was. Now he's a personality.
So what is he now?
Just a personality.
He's a personality. Okay. What he did, Speedy, to help me along with this.
Shoot.
I thought what Ebro did was stupid and smart at the same time.
What do you mean? What?
See, he had been a program director for quite some time, and he had a lot of
responsibilities.
Clout. Yeah, responsibilities, but he also has a lot of clout. He knows a lot of people. He's made a lot of big relationships, right? But I think his personality and taking over the morning is, to me, in my opinion, not so much a good look. You know, Rosenberg, I don't necessarily like at all as a personality. His view.
There's one thing.
Mm-hmm.
You listen.
Right.
For some reason or another, he has something that he's pulling you in to listen. Right. You want to listen to find out. You know what? And I'm gonna tell you a funny story, and it goes by two people that I've learned from. Mm-hmm. One was when I interviewed Floyd Mayweather.
Oh man.
Floyd, we did a bunch of press conferences before, and I kept always jumping in the middle of the questioning. And he would tell me, yo, my man, yo, what's up with you? You always get into the questions. You always jump in. And all the other people were looking at me like, damn, this one always gets a damn question, and I don't get mine in. So that's when I was doing work for PBC.
Okay.
I worked for PBC.
Premier Boxing?
Huh?
Premier Boxing, right.
Yeah, I would do all their what they call the media circus, whatever. So they would send me down, and I would do a lot of the Spanish, and they would send out the Spanish interviews and to all the radio stations, the different radio stations in Spanish. They would send them out to them, my interviews. But you know what? I didn't care in those days. That's what was the fun of that one. I almost got punched in the mouth a few times, but it was cool.
Over what? What did
there's an article in the Daily News where Amir Khan called me a fat fuck live on the press conference. It's in the Daily News. Came out in the Daily News.
You should have told him I might be a fat fuck, but at least I don't have a glass jaw.
Oh, let's get to that. That's how the whole situation started.
Oh, wait. Exclusive people. Let them know, Speedy.
No, he was fighting the kid from Long Island, Algier.
Uh-huh.
So he was fighting. So I turned around and asked him a question. I said, yo, man, why are you not even, you keep answering questions about Floyd and about everybody else. What's up with the dude you're fighting now? You haven't said two words about him. Why, you think he's a bum, he's garbage, and you don't respect him or something? Oh, I didn't say that. And what you know about boxing, you fat fuck? I said, I know one thing, you got a glass jaw. Wow. And the whole crowd just started laughing hysterically. And you could tell his bodyguards and his manager were coming over to me like, yo, slow it down. Easy.
They're going to carry him out of there.
So you didn't finish the Floyd story.
So I'm talking with Floyd, and I was just like, Floyd, why can't you be this? Because to me, Sally, he was the nicest guy in the world. Took me to see his cars, took me in his office, showed me the first $100 million check I've ever seen. Had it in his drawer.
Nice.
I was just like, damn. So he turns around and he goes, let me ask you, Speedy. We talk and we're cool. But wouldn't you want to see me get my head knocked out? I'm like, what do you mean? He goes, I'm obnoxious, I'm nasty, and I do. But what does that do? That sells pay-per-views. Nobody wants to see the good guy, lose. So they pay to see me get my head knocked out because everybody hates me. So everybody pays the pay-per-view to see me get knocked out. And it was just, and I was just like, wow, that's pretty interesting. He says, this is me just this is me just being a salesperson. I want to sell this fight. So the nastier I am, the biggest asshole I am, the more pay-per-views I'm going to sell, and people are going to want to rip my head off.
Of course.
So, I was just like, wow, that's pretty interesting. So it's the same thing with Stern. You were talking about, I mentioned that you listen to Ebro.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a reason why you listen to Ebro, that you keep going back and back and back. Same thing with Stern. People wanted to figure out
what he was going to say next.
He was going to do the next day.
Yeah.
So he grew the listeners and grew the listeners. Whether, you know what? People don't realize whether it's good publicity or bad publicity, you still got your name in their mouths.
Yeah. But my thing is, I think my overall point was, I think it was a bad look. And what you're saying is true. In effect, period. It is true. Because for me, his personality isn't suited to be a draw for the morning.
To you.
No, right. But since he's such...
Personally, that's the whole thing. But to another 20 or 30 different ones,
right,
it suits them.
They like that bullshit.
Yeah, big shout out to we were talking about him before. Blazer Wonders popped in.
I didn't want to bring. I was just going to tell you, Blazer's in the room now. I said, listen, we were just talking about you.
Habla ahora.
Yeah, dile ahora.
That's my hooker. That's my that's my hooker of all my life.
Shout out to DJ Blazer. We love you, brother.
That's my brother, man. That's like I told you before. To me, one of the most amazing DJs in New York City. I don't care what they say, not because he's my man or not, but that's one of the most amazing DJs I've heard.
Been doing it a long time. He used to carry his records to the club.
To save his life, but he's all right.
So Speedy, you've formed all these relationships over the years, and it seems like even locally, within the circles that Sally and myself are in, as far as people. Everybody seems to appreciate that you haven't changed, and you've always stayed true to your roots. You never got, as we say, Hollywood, right?
Never been me, never will be me.
Right.
Listen, man, the best moments of my life, and this is a true story, was my Sundays at Red Hook playing with Sally and all the guys, and going to the tournaments and all that. We just had a blast, dude. Puerto Rico, we had a great time. We found his watch on the car, but
Damn, son. That's not for air.
Yeah, that's not for public consumption. I'm sorry.
So, yeah, I mean, those are the best times, just sitting around and joking around, like getting on. We have Sally's cousin, Mike Delgado. I would just find a reason to just get on him. Another great DJ, Mikey Delgado, one of the hottest DJs I've ever heard, man. So underrated. But he's an amazing DJ. Big shout out to Hitman. We call him the Hitman.
Mm-hmm.
So you know what? That to me, was the best thing. Just buying some beers after the game and just bugging out and having a good time. You know what? I don't need the limelight. As long as I got the right people around me, that's all that matters to me. Having my friends around me, being to enjoy it with them and stuff like that. That's priceless.
Seems like I said, everybody that came through that are still in the room. Everybody's talking a lot of shit. Yo, Blazer's talking a lot of shit right now.
I can't see what.
He said, "I'll knock you out for free." But it seems like everybody still feels very connected to you, and has a genuine respect and admiration for who you are, and they can, that's something to be, commended.
I appreciate that, man. But to me, like I said, the friendships you build, the good times you had, that's what matters to me. You know what? Like having a fact, like I just had, I want to say 2 years ago, we did my 30-year anniversary in Atlantic City. Mm-hmm. And Fat Joe presented me with my Terror Squad chain.
Wow.
With the TS. That meant more to me than anything. That he took the time to come to my event and recognize me. And then the guys from TKA, they know I'm a big wrestling junkie, so they made me a championship wrestling belt. And they said to the champ, the radio champ, and presented me with the championship belt. You know, those are moments that you live for. That's what makes it. That's what makes it special.
Worthwhile.
Yeah.
That's what's
And
up.
what are you at? Where are you at now, Speedy? Let everybody know what you're doing now.
I'm doing a podcast. It's called El Podcast with Luis Jimenez. We're on all the podcast
Platforms.
Oh,
completely in Spanish?
Spanglish.
Oh, Spanglish.
Yep. That's
all right.
Yeah, Spanglish. Because
mira, tú tienes que atraer Celi allá, you know.
Papi, tú sabes que están invitados a cualquier hora.
Yeah, he needs to brush up. Evidently, he came here not speaking Spanish, you know, not speaking English.
Spanglish too.
Yeah, and now he can't speak Spanish at all.
But I'm gonna tell you what, I thank my mom and my dad for that.
For sure.
Because when I was growing up, they made me. At the moment, I hated them. Hey, another great DJ, Ryan Wonder, just checked in.
Lobo.
Yeah, he's been here. He's been here the whole show.
The big pollito man.
Your mom and your dad?
Yeah, they made me go to school in Puerto Rico. I did 3rd, 5th, 7th, and 9th grade in Puerto Rico.
So you're getting skipped?
How to read it, how to write it, and I actually learned the culture of Puerto Rico, you know. And I thank them so much for that, because I made a lot of great friends that I'm still friends with in Puerto Rico with. I still have my home over there. And, you know, and it benefited me in my career, because when I jump, remember the first thing they asked me was,
can you speak Spanish?
Yeah. When I make the jump to Luis, the first thing was, do you speak Spanish? Do you speak fluent Spanish? Not no retardado Spanish, you know, like
guagua.
Yeah,
El Rufo. El Epexi.
Sí, sí. Un hamburger.
Un Coca-Cola.
Yeah. You know, so that benefited me so much that I ended up working with the only man that's ever beat Howard Stern in the ratings.
Who's that?
Luis Jimenez.
Really?
Yeah.
I was unaware. I wasn't aware of that.
He actually Howard had Luis on his show to explain to him what the hell was he saying in the mornings, what was he doing in the mornings that he was able to beat him.
The Latino community is the reason why he was able to beat him.
Right? You know what it was? Honestly, it was his style. It was basically a Howard Stern in Spanish. He didn't give 2 flying Fs, you know.
Right.
He was a habitual line stepper.
Like, you know, he didn't care. He didn't care about the rules, as long as he, you know, whatever.
No, but what I'm saying to you is the reason why he was able to beat him is essentially because the Latino community, because not only Boricuas is listening to him, but the whole Dominican community, and then everybody else, you know, that falls you know, in between are going to listen. Like Colombians that are here in New York are going to listen, right?
Well, because you know what it is. It's knowing what crowd you're talking to. It's knowing your fan base. It's like a DJ. It's like a DJ that plays music. I see some of these idiot DJs. I'm not going to mention names, but they got a 40 to 50 and over crowd, and they want to play reggaeton records. They're not there for that, you idiot. They're not there for that. They're there to hear that salsa classics. They're there to hear the disco classics and to get the drink on and be home by 11 o'clock. The hell are you playing? Answer me that. What are you playing?
He knows the 40 and 50-year-old crowd got to be home by 11.
You know what I mean?
No. I just thought that was funny.
Speedy. So Luis Jimenez, I know he used to get toe the line on the radio. Is he out of control in the podcast? Because there's no censorship, is it?
Worse.
Wow.
Because I've gotten worse, he's gotten worse. Because that's the whole thing. We both, you know, we're supporters of certain things. He supports certain things. I don't support certain things. So it's just like, bueno, si no te gusta, pues vete para el carajo entonces. Ah, no, Speedy, que tú, ¿qué pasa? Ya, puñeta, pues si tú me vas a hablar a mí así, yo te hablo a ti así también. You know, it goes back and forth, you know. Right. But we're up to, thank God Almighty, we're up to 650,000 downloads so far.
Wow.
So
wow.
Good for you guys, man. Best of luck.
Man, that's amazing. That's amazing. And you guys are doing the podcast is strictly audio, correct?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you know, and it's, you know, it's different, but at the same time, it's fun.
Right.
Sally Sitz just said, chill, that's my crew. 15 over crowd in bed by 9.
That's the Geritol quote. You got to take your Geritol, Millie. Make sure you stay hydrated.
No, Sally, you were a promoter at one time and all that, and we've done clubs and we've done it all. But you get certain idiots who don't know what crowd they have in the club, and they want to play for themselves. That's why I think Blaze is such a good DJ, and Glenn Fisher was amazing with that. Glenn would know. Glenn was the only one that I saw that could control a crowd in the car, had you bopping their head in the car, and at the same time bopping in the club because he was live from the club.
Right. There's DJs that that you could hear them on the radio, and then they'll come to a club, and you're like, "This guy's horrible. He doesn't move the crowd at all." You know, I mean, to me there was very few. You know, there was local DJs that probably, like you said, that moved the crowd more. You know, you get a Blazer, you know, Ryan, certain guys that would know the crowd, what they would want it in, you know, in that party. But then you'd have these radio guys come on, and you're paying them $1,500 for an hour or two, and they stink. You know, and
make the names.
And they're not bringing anyone to your party. I mean, there's DJ Camilo and a few guys that probably bring people to your parties when we were doing them back then. Other than that,
Alex still.
Yeah, Alex. That's what I'm saying. Camilo, certain guys that would bring people to your party, and other than that, he's like, all right, I'll just pay the local DJ to DJ instead of spending all his money.
But I'm gonna tell you, man, the era of the DJ, I think is gone. Because and listen, man, and whatever DJ is listening, please don't get offended at the comment that I'm about to make. But I'm gonna keep it 100. I've always kept it 100. You know, DJing behind a computer and with Serato and all that nonsense, to me, nah. I'm not DJ. A DJ was a red alert who would have to look for the damn record in between his bag. Look, he got like a minute or left on the record, looking for his record, queuing it up, going back and forth, queuing it up, and still making it sound good.
Right.
And you had guys like Scotty Blackwell playing 4 records at the same time, 4 turntables going at the same time at 4Ds.
People, if you're just tuning in, I'm your host, Mr. A, with my counterpart,
Sally Sasson.
Yep.
The set. And tonight, Babe Ruth stepped into the batter's box, and he was the on-deck batter. And here he is, the legendary Mr. Speedy.
Thank you, buddy.
Man. Of course.
I appreciate that. You know, also, guys, we did the first broadcast with a different time zone from London, from the biggest club in London to New York City. We did it twice. We did the Hippodrome in London and the Ministry of Sound.
Wow.
We did it live from London to New York City.
Wow.
Yeah, one year was Glenn Fisher, and the other one was the late Frankie Knuckles.
Oh, Frankie Knuckles. Speedy, I wanna go back to something that you just said, because speaking of DJing and DJs today, you brought up technology, because you're speaking about people who have gone from vinyl to digital, right? And I think everybody has sort of made the move. You still have DJs out there who have amazing vinyl collections.
I know exactly the point you're gonna get to. Can I just say
you think? All right, I'm gonna let you say it. I'm gonna see if you're wrong.
Don't pre-ejaculate, Speedy. Don't be a pre-ejaculate.
Go ahead.
Everybody's using that name a little too loosely. DJ this, DJ that. Why? You're behind a computer and you could tell the computer, listen, mix these 2 records together and put it in. You're a DJ? No, I think that name, that the 2 magic words DJ are being used too loosely out there. There's a bunch of clowns out there that swear they're DJs when they can't even spell music.
So the point your point is well taken, and it's sort of in that vein. I had a live interview, it's unreleased, it's super exclusive, with DJ Blazer One back in the summer. And this is something that we spoke about. So a lot of people are nowadays, buying a computer and Serato and whatever, and they're calling themselves DJs. However, there are still foundational and real people who play music and know how to blend and know how to play the right tunes at the right moments and so on. right? And I think that those people, as you alluded to, are watering down this sort of genre or the position that's being played, if you would, of the DJ, because now you find models that are like part-time DJs or like heads of corporate entities that are DJing parties.
Paris Hilton is getting paid, what was it, 50 grand a night to DJ? Paris Hilton is getting, I think it was like 50, something like that, to DJ a party. Shaquille O'Neal is a DJ. I think it is. So that's what he calls himself.
Well, I don't know about Shaq, because Shaq, he did rhyme or whatever. Who knows if he does actually have the ability to be a DJ? Paris Hilton, nah.
What they showed on TV and all that, they showed his tour. He sounded okay,
right?
Yeah, Shaq ain't gonna do it. Like, he ain't gonna disrespect the culture. I don't think. He think if he does it, he's gonna do some type of DJing. Is the Paulie D kid? Is he DJ? Like the New Jersey Shore kid? Is he a DJ? Or
I don't know if he's a DJ or not, but he's getting paid. I tell you
saying, yeah, because the
residency. If I'm not mistaken, he still has the residency in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Frank
Coco was just saying that.
Homeboy was getting about 50. Homeboy was getting about 25, 30 grand a night.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, it goes to the, it's also the DJ, like you said, the MC. I mean, it goes to all that, because guys are saying the MCs, and nah, bro, you're not an MC. You're like an MC was, rocking the crowd, freestyling if you had to, spitting knowledge. You're mumble rapping. you know.
I call them.
I forgot the actor. What's his name? Andres Alba. Somebody just mentioned it. He's a DJ also too.
Yeah, I did catch that.
He makes music too, though. I think, right? Does he make music? Because I thought I heard something from him.
I think so. I'm not sure.
Well, to your point, Sally, I call them microwavable rappers. Anybody could be a rapper nowadays. And I mean that literally, like anybody could be a rapper. And then another conversation, I hate to name drop, but salute to our guy Minnesota. Continue on your path, getting well, brother. And we hope to have you on the show soon. But Minnesota, in the conversation I had with him, told me that these dudes sound like cats when you're in high school, banging on the lunchroom table, and you just sing anything. You remember those days, right? Everybody would jump in and say some silly shit. Right. But now that's the music we're listening to. The beats, are creative.
Mm-hmm.
The tracks are creative, but the penmanship, the wordsmith, very few.
Listen, to me, there'll never be another Ready to Die album. There'll never be another Chronic album. To me, those are legendary albums. Nas' first album was incredible.
Wu-Tang Forever. Wu-Tang album.
Yeah, those were incredible albums. I don't albums like that again.
Yeah, there's never.
Like you never hear an Eric B and Rakim.
I've got Quest. Those albums were.
Even leaders of the new school, guys like that, leaders of the new school, Cold Crush Brothers. The original Force, they became the Force MDs, or what were their names?
It was Force MDs.
No, they were rap group before that, and they
were.
Yeah.
They were.
Yes.
Public Enemy. Public Enemy was so ahead of their time, right? Like for me, those guys were way ahead of their time. Rakim was light years. Like if Rakim came out right now, people would probably lose their minds.
Yeah, the Force MCs, Johnny Chavez. Thank you, Johnny Chavez. They were known as the Force MCs.
Man.
But to me, I mean, everything is transcending. Everything changes. You know what I'm saying? But to me, I don't hear another slow jam. Nobody comes out with a decent slow jam anymore. Remember in the old days of the, you had the hookie parties and
old.
To close with.
Yeah. We're sounding old.
A slamming slow jam, and God knows how long.
The kid, The Weeknd, I like some of his stuff. I feel like a lot of his stuff he does is some old school stuff style.
That Dominican kid?
Is he Dominican? I don't know. He's doing the Super Bowl.
Now he looks Dominican.
Yeah, he looks.
Like,
No, Dominicans dope.
Another Keith Sweat, or there'll never be another Jodeci.
No, Keith Sweat used to beg, and Jodeci they're alcoholics right now, so it's sad. But it's what it is and I and this is exactly where I didn't want the conversation to go, but we're here. What I would say is that, and it was something that I was speaking to earlier, how the corporate side of things wants to control the culture. So they're not signing people in vast majorities like Kendrick Lamar. They're not signing people who sound like a Jodeci or a Keith Sweat, because that's not where we're at nowadays. Everything is immediate, right? So like I tell my son, like, I feel sorry for you and I don't feel sorry for you, because my son can go on his phone and meet a girl immediately. Right? He could literally just go boop and send her an Uber, and she could come to the house. Well, not my house, but I'm just saying. We didn't socially. I want you to understand where I'm going with this. Socially, right? Society has been put into this bubble of immediate. You don't gotta wait, right? So socially, the corporate side of things has controlled the music that is shaping the culture and society, because nobody wants to hear about falling in love no more. Nobody wants to say, oh, the first time we, held hands. When we grew up, if you held a girl's hand, you was the man, right? If you kissed her, they were like, what? Yo.
Like, listen, man.
I like that no more.
I used to, go to sleep with Vaughn Harper.
Firestorm
with Vaughn Harper.
On
Kiss FM. That used to be amazing. You know what I mean? Right. Like Friday night in front of your stool, you threw on some Vaughn Harper.
It's different now. That doesn't even happen anymore. That does not even happen anymore.
You know what the problem is too, in a way, and I've said this to Blaze and a bunch of people. I think us as a society, we are you just said the word before. I'm trying to remember the word. Oh damn! When it comes back to me, we're shutting ourselves down. That's we're shutting ourselves down. Period. Because you're not. If you say something, automatically it's either racist or something.
Cancel culture.
Cancel culture. Yeah, Sally.
Yes, it is so true. Because now not even comedians can do a damn stand-up comedy because of the fact that, oh, he did a black joke. Oh, wait a minute. Let's sanction him now.
Yeah.
Sanction him now. But yet, in our era, you had the Red Foxes, you had the Richard Pryors, you had the Eddie Murphys, you had the all those type of comedians doing all types of jokes and nobody said a damn thing. You know what I mean? And now all of a sudden, Sully says something in his podcast. Oh, wait a minute. We can't listen to him no more. But yet it was a joke. People, it was a joke.
I think that there's a reason for that. And again, it goes back to everything. It goes back to the music. It goes back to us as a culture. It goes back to them shaping society the way they want it to be. I don't care, and I refuse to open up about what I really think, because
go down the rabbit hole.
Yeah, and I don't even think
the word we're sanctioning ourselves now. We're shutting ourselves down.
We're censoring ourselves.
To say whatever we really feel like saying, because when we're basically censoring ourselves, and it's not even the government that's censoring. It's ourselves that are censoring each other, man. That's the scary part.
Because everybody's so damn sensitive.
Yeah. Well, where did that come from? But that's what. Wait, let me not divert. Hold on. If you just joined the show,
I come from the media, and I've done media. Part of the fault is in the media, and I'll be the first one to say it.
You get your marching orders from somewhere.
The media, because you know what, and I tell this to everybody. Sometimes we do an interview, and we don't pick out the good shit that the person said or whatever. Hell no, I'm gonna talk about the negatives. Oh, did you hear what he said? oh wow, you remember when he said this and this and that, but yet you won't talk about, oh, yo, man, he just donated 10 grand to save that little baby girl's kidney or some shit like that. But let me find you in a club. Let me find you in a club, Sally, drinking and partying. All that other shit went out the window.
Yeah. If you're just joining the show, I'm your host, Mr. A, with my counterpart,
Sally Sasson.
and this is the set. And tonight we're speaking to the legendary New York City's own Speedy. Before I move on to the next question, I just want to read a few comments in the room. Frank Coco Sr. is pointing out that I was talking about the Mets and not liking them, but I got a Mets hat on tonight. Mr. Senior.
Love you, Frank.
Yeah. Understand something. My wife bought me this hat, and I know your wife buys you stuff and you wear it, so don't hate on me.
No.
I love the Mets.
Hey, easy there. Fan there is.
No. I got love for the Mets, but again, the curse of Davey. It's never going to know.
Yeah, Lobo.
Yeah, I know.
Speedy,
I know.
Frank.
I know. It's all good.
Sit this one out.
My brother Mike. Yeah, they're not rappers. They're just artists. I wouldn't even. There's some of them that are not even artists, bro. I'm serious. Like, you've been gangbanging your whole life, and in the last 2 years you became a rapper. Yeah, that's a stretch. Not in my house, Mr. Flippin. You damn right. He's old enough. Go find some place to do what you're gonna do. You ain't doing that shit here.
Talking a lot pimping.
Yeah, for real, son. Tar Beach. Back in the days. Any Drake song, chill, Mr. Camacho. I don't know. I heard Drake's Run Is Over, and then I just heard a new record from him, so I really don't know where that's going.
I never got into that music, so.
Yeah. Ryan Wonder, nobody likes boleros anymore.
Yo, man, what? Listen, man, I'm a big, I love the salsa boleros, like Rafi Levy, La Selecta, Payaso, Soy de Tu Cariño.
Rotary? You got the rotary phone?
You got the bat phone, the black joint that you fucking beat people with? Salute to Tomate Ortiz. We see you, brother, and Big Paul.
Big shout out to Tomate.
Yeah.
Big shout out to Tomate.
Yo, man, there's a lot of people in the room, brother. A lot of people in the room showing love. We appreciate all of y'all for coming through, and we especially appreciate our brother Speedy coming here to share a piece of his history. And Speedy, so you're at the point now. I would imagine that you're someone like me and Sally. We stay listening to music that we grew up on. We really don't mess with the radio like that.
You know what? It's yes and no.
Mm-hmm.
Because, I listen to a little bit of everything. I still listen to mornings in Spanish and English and all that, because you don't want to get caught off guard and not know they bring a topic up to you or something like that and not know what the hell you're talking about.
You got to stay with current events.
You always want to keep your guard up. Right. Do I enjoy my music? Without a doubt. When I go walking and I do whatever, is it going to be old school in my ears? Yeah. But in my car, do I switch stations and do I listen to other things and different TV to always keep sharp at what the hell I'm talking about? Yeah. Because you got to be, you got to be always straight.
Anybody got a score in the game? I'm about to sign off, guys.
You hear this guy? You got some nerve. Speedy, you feel how this guy's being disrespectful, ready to jump off because he want to go watch the game?
I'm hungry, man.
You're hungry. Tell your girl to serve you. Where's Jack?
We got some cheese, baby.
They were winning already. Huh? They were winning.
They won, Pa. They won.
All right.
Number 1 seed. We got to buy. We'll be watching people play next week.
My Dolphins, I don't know if we got in or not.
Dolphins, please.
Oh,
it was tuna.
Time out.
Like tuna. That guy was horrible today.
You're a Miami fan, brother?
Sally knows. All the years he's known me, I've been a Miami fan.
Oh, Jesus.
Terrible, man.
You cost me
my parlay.
Why? There's a reason why.
What is it?
Okay. It was the year of the quarterback. Okay.
Damn,
you got it.
Of course.
I made my dad take me to the draft, and I was a big Dan Marino fan at Pittsburgh. Remember, he came out of Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh. And I was following through college and all that, and I was just like, so I make my dad. My dad didn't understand a damn word they were doing in the garden. That's when they used to do the draft in the garden. And my dad didn't understand 2 words or nothing, but I'm enjoying myself, having a good time. And Tony Eason's off the clock. Jim Kelly's off the clock. John Elway's off the clock. Who else went in that draft? Todd Blackledge. Sorry, Todd Blackledge was off the Kansas City took him. Here comes the Jets out of the University of Southern California Baptist. The Jets select Ken O'Brien. I was like, what? And the next pick, the Miami Dolphins select from the University of Pittsburgh, Dan Marino. I was like, wow. Richard Tark can go kiss my ass. Matt Robinson can go kiss my ass. Mark Gastineau can go kiss my ass. All them guys.
So tonight on the show, Speedy's telling us how he really feels. Sully, just for reference, the Pack 35-16. The Eagles just threw a pick. Yeah. That always works.
Sorry, Giants fans.
Score that game.
No score given.
7-0 Washington, I heard.
Oh well. That's what we're doing. All right. So we talked about your come up. We know exactly how you feel about music presently. What are you working on? Like, since COVID is here, how, you have the podcast. I'm sure that's been keeping you busy.
Yeah.
Is there anything else going on with you presently?
We've had this, like I told Sally, I shot it already. We have the sizzle reel and everything for my reality show called Mama's Boy. We've been shopping it for the last 2 years. Mm-hmm. Working on that, doing the podcast. I've been doing some commercials around the country for different people, different spots, reading a few spots here and there. And my main concern is my mom, man. I rarely go out or do anything. I just want to make sure my mom's okay and all that, I was for 4 months. Mm-hmm. I stayed with her over there, and then I came here and just been staying, chilling and relaxing, watching sports.
Was she in the pilot that you shot for this show?
Yes, she was.
Did she give you any cocotazos, or was she like sirviendo comida and all that throughout the show?
I actually told one of the girls that was supposed to be dating me, she called her transvestite.
What?
Yeah, mom don't play, man. Mom's 81, but still drives, still does it all, still sticks the finger out the window. Yeah. When people are in traffic, tells you to F off and all that type of shit.
Well, God bless her. She's still with us.
Yes.
We hope her stay safe, for real. You got to do what you got to do to protect Mondoose.
I mean, do I miss? My next show's supposed to be March 5th. Mm-hmm. Let's pray. That's going to be in Atlantic City. That's with Samantha Fox. Samantha Fox will be in the building.
I thought she was dead.
No, man. I want to have some fun.
No. I know. I thought that there was I guess that was like an old internet rumor or whatever that she had.
Remember, there was a porn star named Samantha Fox too.
Right. She died.
I think she died. If I'm not mistaken.
So if anybody missed it, Speedy watches porn. So
you watch. Listen, man. You watch everything. You gotta watch everything, even the stupidest shows. You gotta watch because you never know who's gonna ask you about that stupid show, and you're gonna be with your tongue hanging.
So the name of the show is called Mama's Boy.
Mama's Boy.
Okay. And I'm assuming you're the focus of the show. It's just you.
You got it. Just me and my mom's.
When are you ever?
And with Luis also. Luis is a big part of it.
Okay.
Because they're trying to get me married. I'm still, I've never been married. 52, never been married, no kids.
Russia, baby. Russia, 90-day fiance kid. They got him hanging off the snow cones over there.
I'm good. I'm my PlayStation. I'm good.
I hear you, brother. Excuse me. So Speedy, I can't thank you enough.
I can't thank you enough for having me, man.
No. I mean, you came ahead of your time. Pause. You gave so much of yourself on the show. I mean, this felt like a history lesson to a degree.
I appreciate that.
No, definitely. And we definitely, I'm sure there's a lot more that we got to speak about.
Oh, definitely, man. We still got, we got music stories. We got club stories, things that
Super Bowl, Speedy, the virtual party. You got to come on that day with us.
Yeah.
Laser's coming on to spin.
Yeah, I'm coming on.
Lobo, you want to come spin? Come on and spin.
Yeah, we're gonna be. I'll definitely be there.
Mikey's coming on. People coming on. Rob Lowe supposed to show up.
That's a promise.
Yeah.
I can get a couple of people. I'm gonna try to get you a couple. One of the Clemente brothers. One of the they're two of my dearest friends. Roberto Clemente's kids. Let's see if I get them on with you here.
Cool.
People, do you not see what's happening right now? This is what's called love, right? When your people support you in what you do, because you gambling on yourself, and they know what kind of people you are. That's what they do. They show you love, and it doesn't matter high, low, whatever it is in between. They're gonna look out. Speedy, man, just can you do us a favor and stay in the green room because we want to have a chat with you before you go. Is that okay?
Not a problem.
Awesome. Stay put, brother.
All right.
And thank you.
You got it, fellas.
Speedy Mercado.
Man, good brother.
Yeah, man.
Good brother.
Yeah.